78.6 FM, positive vibes of Winsome. Put my headphones on. Good morning, everybody. It's another beautiful Saturday here in Okinawa. Today was even more beautiful than last Saturday, I'll tell you. And it does that sometimes here, right? Where I go out expecting the weather because of the way it looks to feel a certain way. And then I step out there and it's completely even more beautiful than I expected. I just want to say I walked out today and I was going to go to the gym. So I go down the street to Torii Station. And I'm at Torii Station, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go work out. It's the whole goal. It's to go to Torii to work out at the gym. And I pull up to the basin. If you guys have never been to Torii Station, when you get to a certain point of a hill heading to that gate, you just see this view. And I'll tell you, it's a view of the water. It's a view of Okinawa going down towards Naha. And it's one of the most breathtaking views, even though it's a brief, because you got to drive, and it doesn't last that long. It lasts maybe about 4 or 5 seconds. But I took that in, and I was like, yo, I got to see more of that. I couldn't just do the gym this morning. So as I approach Torii Station, and I go and I grab myself a water, and I'm looking, and I see a view from the distance, from there, from the shop ed, and I'm like, I got to get closer. It just looks too beautiful. I got to get closer. So I bypass the gym and I drive down to the beach on Torii Station right here in Yomitan. And I sat there for the last hour. And my teammate here will tell you, it took me, I got into the station probably about 5 minutes before start time because I wanted to really take in the view. It was so beautiful. And I know I had the intention of going to Torii solely for the gym. But when I got there and I saw that and I was taking in the feeling, it was just so warm with a light breeze, and you can hear the water as you're driving down. I kept my windows down, and when I sat down on one of the benches and I'm watching the water from right next to the beach, I'm on the beach. 5-minute drive, I'm on the beach. And I'm looking at the view, and I'm taking it all in, and I realize, man, I'm so grateful, not just for another day, not just for an opportunity to be here with you, but I'm so grateful to be here right now in this moment, and it's what I felt when I was there. And a lot of us take for granted our new day. A lot of us take for granted, you know, the stories that we have, who we are, what we've become, what we've accomplished, and, you know, what we have the ability to do. And I will tell you, that it's been a long time since I've been to Torii Beach, and it's been a long time since I took in the view like that. I do it in other places. And this place is right here in my backyard. And so I'll probably go back this weekend. I only did an hour there, right, because I had to get here to the show. But a little bit less than an hour because I was supposed to go to the gym. But I'm glad I did. I'm really glad I did. I want to start off with that. We talk about things we're grateful for. This is the gratitude segment, the very first thing we do in classes that we teach and attend. And of course, this would be the mindfulness time, right? To be present in the moment, to reconnect before we launch into the lesson. And for the radio show, it's the gratitude segment. So this whole segment is about saying thank you and being grateful for who we are, what we have, and what we're going to do next, the ability and the opportunities. Right? I want to say congratulations to my team, the Kadena development team, and everyone else from throughout the island who either participated or helped put together the Norwegian Foot March, which happened this morning and on Kadena. And I know this was a long time coming. This team's been planning this. I remember when the discussion started a few months ago with one of my teammates, Derek, and one of our heroes in the building just came up to him and had an idea. And I'll tell you, watching this idea become a reality over the last couple of months, from the planning, the conversations, the meetings, the what do you call those? The lymphax being identified, the connections, the networking that had to happen, reaching out to major commands. I watched these guys do this, and I saw the pictures and the videos because I wasn't waking up for it. They was out there at 2:30 in the morning. And one of my guys putting it together, I don't even know if he slept last night because he wanted this to be the event, right? He wanted to, his name is on it, which I understood wholeheartedly. Hey, bro, your name is on this, so you go out there and represent. I'll be asleep, but I'm rooting for you, and I'm 100% supporting you from a distance, right? I ain't gonna be out there, but I love you. Really proud of how it turned out for them. I'm really happy that everything went well. There were no injuries, no serious situations. Everybody had a good time. The camaraderie from all branches of force that was going on. Each person had a role, responsibility to put this together, and everyone shined. And that's the best part of being on good teams, is that everybody has an opportunity to shine in their responsibility. And that's exactly what happened with this event. Everyone's parts came together, and at the end of the day, it was an amazing event. And I've heard nothing but good things so far, and saw wonderful pictures, videos of how it came and turned out exactly how they hoped it would. So shout out to the team that put together the Norwegian Foot March this morning here in Okinawa, Kadena Air Base. First time ever that we've done that on this base. So congratulations to that team. First time ever raising the amount of money they did for this event, for this organization, to be able to do more things for our teammates and provide more opportunities and support other people who are trying to build and create something for this base in this region. So shout out to those guys, man. I'm really proud of you. Got an email this morning. Trainer's Warehouse, one of our teammates and partners, collaborators. Really excited to be a part of that team as the ambassador and to be able to go out and teach, coach, educate, encourage, and inspire using the tools from Trainer's Warehouse. I owe them pictures, so apparently pictures that they had, I got to try to make them high resolution. So if any of my friends are listening, I got to raise the resolution on these pictures. Hook me up, right? I'll send them to you. I need you to make these tight so they can put them in their magazine that they're putting together right now. That's the easy lift. Sue Landay, thank you so much for the email this morning. You made my day to know that I'm being considered to be a part of that the magazine, and I really can't wait to see how it looks, turns out, and I get those 2 photos back to you. Man, it's been an amazing week. So many things have been going on. So grateful for Keith Castile hit me up. We got a wonderful lineup of speakers that are going to be attending either virtually or in person our January 2026 joint NCO development event. So we should have all 4 branches represented for this event, which I'm really excited about, to be able to pour into not just the Air Force, but the Navy, the Space Force, the Marines, the Army, and bringing in people who I know will be able to connect with them, right? Because these are, think about it, you're sitting through a 2-day event. You want it to be something that you can connect to. You don't want it to be you're just sitting there being talked to. You want to be able to connect to this material, be able to be active in some way, right? So I can't wait, and I'm going to send this out to all the speakers, that I just really want to connect these teams. Now more than ever, we need to be on the same page, and to be able to bring us together an event with 100 teammates to make sure we're growing together is something I'm really excited to watch, be a part of, and to put together. What else is happening this week? Coaching. One of my teammates, I think last week we spoke about the wonderful coaches here throughout this region that have been getting together. So grateful that we've had folks that have been volunteering throughout even this week to be a part of this program and to help us, support us, build us up. And it's really something that I can't say thank you enough about, right? So shout out to all the coaches in the network, right? The ICF network, who are volunteering to help me build up this APAC program, volunteering their time to help our coaches get their hours. And this is something that I'm really, really excited to see happen, because this has been building for years, right? If you look at what I've been doing and talking about on this show, this is the closest I've gotten to having exactly what I envisioned a few years ago. Not just a team of coaches that are out there and actively educating, encouraging, and inspiring, but actually folks from within the network helping me build them up every single week, right? And trainings and getting our ICF, membership, so we can actually have a Kadena chapter, which is something I'm really excited about. And that's what I'm looking into as we speak to get that firmed up. So 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes with Winsome. Today, I'm just really coming back and saying thank you in the first segment. What am I going to be talking about? Let's go to my notes real quick, man, because, again, I wanted to be structured, right? So coming back from Thanksgiving break, we're going to talk about focus. Today I got a couple of different things I'm going to be speaking about while we're here together. And the first one is people who don't have the same vision as you will never understand why you work so hard or why you distance yourself at times. So we're going to talk about shared visions, right? Then we're going to talk about going into the next segment that if you're going through something, you're not behind. You are on a path that requires patience and not speed. Patience and not speed. And then we're going to jump into the version of you who thought they would never make it here would be so proud of you today. Think about this. That version of you that thought they would never make it here would be so proud of you today. And be a better you for you. Think about this for a second. And a lot of us get caught up in that because we want to be great for everybody else. But think about this. Be a better you for you. We're going to talk about that. Then lastly, we're going to talk about whatever you do. Do not get stuck on the one thing that ruins your day. Life is too short to waste on negativity. So let's start with one of the ones that I really like, man. And this is one that I really want to share with you. That version of you who thought they would never make it here would be so proud of you today. And we're talking about gratitude in this segment. So I really want to take that in mind or keep that in mind as we're talking, because think about how many different chapters of your life you've been through right now. Look at how much you've grown and how far you've come. Think about where you start. One of my favorite quotes is not how you start, is how you finish. So think about this for a second. Think about your story, how much you've grown and how far you've come. You guys have seen, like on my Facebook or when I was playing around and building my videos on Instagram, how 16-year-old me had so many dreams, so many visions, so many goals. To know what I wanted to do at 16 versus what I actually achieved at 46, it still brings a smile to my face when I sit down. And if I can talk to that kid, I think one time I did that on the radio is I had a conversation with 16-year-old me, man, and it brought me to tears just thinking about what I've survived. Situations, circumstances, the highs and lows, what's happened since 16, what I didn't expect from 16 till now to happen and to be a part of my life and part of my world right now. Every obstacle that I overcame, every obstacle that I survived that made me stronger and wiser. Think about that for a second. That version of you when you're at your lowest low and you never thought you was going to get past that low, and then you survived it. And not only did you survive it, but you learned from the experience. Not only did you learn from the experience, but you grew from the experience. And sometimes people think growth is all about, being such a great person at this, having a story to tell. It's not always that. It's new tools that you picked up, new lessons that you learned, people that you either brought into your life or phased out of your life from that journey, that experience. Things that weren't good for you that you got rid of. That's growth. All of that is growth. Every obstacle that you overcame that made you stronger and wiser. I need you to give yourself credit for surviving those moments that you thought would break you. For becoming better for those moments that you wanted to not do anything else. You just wanted to be in your little bubble. You didn't want to talk to anybody, do anything, go anywhere. But you broke out of that. That, my friend, is a win in itself. Every one of those are victories. When you sit back and you reflect on those, every one of those are victories. And you overcame it. You won. Another one of my favorite quotes that I used to tell people is, hey, man, I've already survived my worst day. Think about that for a minute. You've already survived your worst day, and you're still here. You're still standing. I need y'all to have a little bit of pride and gratitude. And be proud of yourself, because everything that you endured was making you stronger, better, the better version of you for your next chapter, for your new story, for your new page. Remember what I said? Whatever happened in the last chapter does not have to have any effect negatively on your new chapter. You decide what you do next. What happened to you does not define you. You do. I'm so proud of you because you're still here and still standing. 78.6 FM. We'll be right back after this break. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes with Winsome. We're back. This is the second segment. First segment, of course, we focus on gratitude, right? And the things we appreciated or appreciate about our week, our world. And I talked a little bit about the version of you who thought they would never make it here, would be so proud of who you are today. I told a story about that a few months back where I was having a conversation with 16-year-old me. I was looking at a picture and having that conversation brought me to tears, right? Because I know what I've gone through. I know what I've survived. I know the doubts that I've had. I know the people who doubted me. I know the situations that seemed unrealistic that I would make it, and I did. I know the things that I overcame. I know the challenges that are before me. I know the people who supported me, the people who pushed me, that are now like family to me, that were not blood family, but they're family to me now. I know who they are. I see these things now, but I didn't have that before, right? So it's really important to think about that. Who are you? What have you survived? How far have you come? What have you overcome? What's made you wiser and stronger from the experience? Another thing I want to talk about today is being a better you for you. Think about that for a second. Being a better you for you. Think about people who do so much for others. Think about people who change their style, their flow, just for other people, but they're not doing things from within. You see, when you are worried about external motivation to drive you and make you better, then you're not doing things from within, what you want for yourself, what you feel for yourself, what drives you, what intrinsically motivates you to make you want to do things. Because when those extrinsic motivations, those external motivations, those things outside go away, what is still pushing you to be that version of you that you know the world needs? That version of you that makes you happy, that version of you that makes it easy to sleep at night because you're being authentically you. What does it take to be the best version of you for you? Think about the things that people do just so they can have an Instagram video or a TikTok video or a Facebook video. Think about things that people do for that. And then think about those people who are doing great things because they're doing what drives them, what motivates them, what pushes them. Think about those people that are doing things for others, authentically, genuinely being kind every single day, caring for other people and pouring into others, and the great things that are coming into their lives because of what they do for other people. Think about that. Those people are intrinsically motivated. They are driven from within. They wake up every single day and they are fueled by their passions, by what they want for their lives, by their next chapter, by educating others, by encouraging others, by inspiring others. That's my thing. That's my team's thing. What about those people who just want to love on other people, want other people to have a good day? I have a friend who wakes up, one of their goals is, I want to see as many people smile as I can. And I protect this person as much as I can from the ugliness of the world because they have such a pure heart. And when things happen to them and I see them struggling because someone is just, they expect the same from others as they do from themselves, which is heartbreaking because not everybody's going to give you. But that doesn't mean you be any different. I've been on tours, and you guys have heard the story before. A few years ago, I've been on tours where people just did not want to be there. And I'm coming in with new energy. And in my mind, I knew I would not, I cannot, and I will not allow negativity to bring me down. I knew I needed to be a better version of me for me, and that whatever light that I'm building on the inside of me will cast on those people who need it. And if you know the story, this is when the sun wasn't coming up for 3 months. This is when people were drinking alcohol like crazy to try to get through the days. I wasn't drinking. I don't drink. Don't smoke. And I was there just watching these things go on, and I'm trying to show as many people as I could that there's another way. Another way to be positive, another way to be engaged, another way to be encouraged, another way to flourish, another way to thrive through this experience. I was working on building a sense of community when there was not one. I was worried or focused on building people up when the world around them was beating them down. I was focusing on myself, so much so that I will go to a location at this place that was isolated from everybody else, and I would be there for 2 hours to get away. If you guys know the story, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I would sit there for 2 hours, and I would just take in everything, the week, the day, the scenario, the scene, and I would just play it through my head, and I would think about different ways to navigate it. And I would take my thoughts and I would put them to action the next day. Because for the first time in my life and in my career, I realized more than ever that it wasn't about me. It's not about you. Get over yourself. Winsome, get out there and figure out what you can do to make sure we all get through this tour together. That we all survive it. That we have the resources we need to survive it. That we're looking after each other. That we're taking care of each other. And how do you do that if you're not focused on what drives you? You see, you deserve to treat yourself with the same patience and belief that you give other people. And I'm going to say that again. You deserve to treat yourself with the same patience and belief that you give other people. And I'm going to tell you, as a coach, I give people unconditional love when they walk in that room, because I know that everybody is carrying a different backpack, different weight, different stories, different chapters. So when they walk in and they come and they sit down in front of me, or they're talking to me virtually, I let me go. It's about their story. What's going on with them? How can I be present in the person that this individual needs right now? And then when I'm done giving all of my time and all of my energy to everybody, let me tell you something. You guys have heard me say this before. You have to give yourself grace. Because I know that there's no way that I can be there for other people if I'm not there for myself as well. So just as the same as I am with others, with making sure that I'm giving them what they need, I have to make sure I'm giving myself what I need to, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, relationship-wise. All of these things that I need for me, to thrive, I have to make sure that I'm doing. A lot of people forget that part. They treat everybody with such kindness and such love and give so much energy to everybody else, their growth and development and their stories and time. But what about for themselves? Not just you as an individual. I'm not talking about just going to get a 1-hour massage. I'm not talking about going on a vacation and rushing back. I'm talking about that quality time you give you and the things that you love, the people that you love. How are we doing that, and how are you doing that? And are you making sure that you are giving the same level of patience to those things that you love, to yourself, to your loved ones, that you give everybody else, that you get paid to do the same for? I use my job as an example. I know that I'm paid to do the things that I do, but I still give a special love and engagement and energy to those things and people that I'm responsible for, because I am passionate about things that my name is attached to. But if I'm spending my whole day doing that for others, am I doing that for myself when I have a day like this to do so? You know, I have friends who barely sleep. They're constantly giving and giving and giving. And I surround myself with these people because it reminds me of how important it is. But they don't sleep. And I'm always messing with them because I'm like, hey, you're missing the piece. Because when you crash, when you go down, those people that needed you, those people that you've created this expectation of presence for, they're not going to have you. So if you're not building yourself back up, if you're not resting, if you're not sleeping, if you're not giving you what you need, those same people don't eat lunch because they're moving for others. They haven't figured out how to take breaks for themselves. So when they've figured this out, when they've mastered the art of, hey, let me build in for myself the same things that I build in for other people, the same words that I'm pouring into others, let me pour that same energy into me. It's a game changer. You're being a better you for you. And see, the people that need you, the people that rely on you, the people that want you to be around, that want you to be present, to be at your best when it's your time with them, they need you to take care of you as well. You see, improvement is most powerful when it comes from love, not pressure. So when you're doing those things, or you're improving upon, not just for you, but for the development of you, the growth of you, the nourishment of you, the things that you need, it's because you know you love yourself enough to do those things, not because, oh, I need to eat right now. Oh, I got to get some sleep for at least 3 hours. Oh, I got to. No, you're pressuring yourself into doing, oh, I got to take this class because I got to. No, you're doing these things because you know it's important. You're passionate about it. You love the growth and the nourishment and the things that it gives you when you pour into yourself. You're doing it because it's love, not pressure. And you also want to consider everything that you're pouring into you, it's going to be for who you are tomorrow. Everything you do today is going to have an effect on future you. So the more you pour into your development, your growth, your rest, your nutrition, your fitness, your loved ones. And I say that, and I tie those two together because a lot of people don't realize that if you love someone, that's a part of you. So if you're nurturing that relationship and you're giving that relationship what it needs, you're also nurturing you. Because the connections, and if you guys can go to any book, any person who speaks and teaches on these things, if you look at the things that are most important in an individual's life, world, connection is usually the number one. Because we're human beings. It's how we're built. I don't care if you say you're an extrovert, right? Or an introvert, and you try to stay away from people. No, I guarantee you, introverts, and a lot of people that I know that are introverted, they still have connections that they need. They don't just block themselves out from the world. That's a totally different thing. That just means where their energy is placed is different. And I'm not trying to get into the whole extrovert, introvert, ambivert thing. I'm just trying to tell you connections are important. So if you're telling me that you're trying to pour love into yourself, make sure you're pouring love into those connections, into those people and things that you say you love, because that is also building into you and what you need and what you've told your heart and mind that you need. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes with Winsome. We'll be right back after this break. Talk about our next segment. See you in a minute. .6 FM, Positive Vibes of Winsome. Trying to hit you guys with some quotes that we took away from the powerofpositivity.com. If you guys haven't been out there, go check them out. That is one of the teammates and collaborators that make sure that our Lighthouse Beacon Award here at Zampa Lighthouse is able to go out to as many people in this region as it does. So powerpositivity.com, that team, the family that runs that team has been amazing supporters, amazing contributors, and really love the messages that they bring and really love to bring it to a larger audience, right? So that's my role every Saturday, to bring some of these things to you. I want to tell you also that you are not behind. Think about those people that are constantly comparing themselves to everybody else's growth, development, movements, actions, and they're always making themselves or convincing themselves that they're behind. They're telling themselves that they're not doing good enough. They're telling themselves that they're not where they're supposed to be based on other people. And I really hope that you guys stop doing that in 2026, because everybody's path trajectory is based on their own story. You are not behind. You are on a path that requires patience, not speed. That's what your story needs right now. People are beating themselves up because think about it, I just saw someone was 60 years old, just finally graduated high school, just got their bachelor's degree. It's not about time. It's about patience. It's not about speed. You see, a lot of people go through things. Every story is unique. And so the timing of those stories is unique. And your timing is working for you, not against you. You have to be patient with yourself. Like I told you last segment, you got to give yourself grace. You have to appreciate the story that you have. Stop comparing yourself to other people and their story. When you're comparing yourself to other stories, you're always going to feel behind. And that's with anything in life. If it's social media, if it's money, if it's jobs, if you're comparing yourself to other people, you're always going to start feeling inadequate in certain ways because you're never focused on your story and your journey. Your timing is unique to your journey, and it's working for you, not against you. You know, Dr. King said his quote, and you guys know I love it: if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. And what he's saying is those actions, those steps, those things that you do, even if it's small steps, it's still steps forward in the direction that you want to go in for you. Not for anybody else, not because of what somebody else is doing, and not what somebody else has, but because that's what your heart and your mind wants for your story. Trust yourself. Know that what you're building will last because you are not rushing the foundation of it. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a story, and I really want you guys to understand what I'm saying right here. So I had an opportunity when I was in the U.S. Some of you guys know I was a huge Doctor Who fan, like big Doctor Who fan. And so that fandom kind of created something that I wasn't expecting. And my family knows about this, and folks who were working with me at the time, they know this. So as a Doctor Who fan, I would write in like, after every show, I think I was on Twitter for like a few for this one, and I would write in comments for a Doctor Who USA Whovian was my Twitter handle, I think it was. And the cool thing about being a Doctor Who fan was America was just really trying to get a hold of who Doctor Who was at the time, and I jumped into Doctor Who when it was I believe who was my doctor when I first started going on into the show. Matt Smith was the doctor at the time, the actor named Matt Smith. But I had to go backwards to go forward. So I started catching up, watching David Tennant and then Peter Eccleston. So I'm watching all of these actors take on a role of this character called Doctor Who, and I'm really getting consumed with this show. It was literally what I would watch when I wasn't watching Scrubs, when I wasn't watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I connected with these stories, the adventure. It was escapism at its finest. And I would write in, just like any other fan, type into the little page and talk about my thoughts of the shows and episodes. After a while, somebody kind of noticed that. And ultimately, I had an opportunity to like write real articles about Doctor Who. This is where it all started. You guys want to know how I got in radio and all this? I started writing real episode segments and critiques and reviews about Doctor Who. It's where it started. I won't say who the company was that I was working with, but I'll tell you where it led. It led to me going to small local Comic-Cons throughout Texas, which led to the Comic-Con where David Tennant was in San Antonio, which led to the Comic-Con in, I believe it was Houston or Dallas. I want to say Dallas, where other actors were. So like had a great opportunity with this company to interview, to not just review shows, but now to interview actors, to be a part of their panels. Like it was wonderful. I even put a panel together, not just a bunch of fans, but I was working with NASA. David Johnson, love you. Shout out to you, Dave. My family wanted me to tell you they love you, they miss you. Dave Johnson, NASA scientist, and two other Doctor Who fans in Texas, Ira, and we were just on a panel talking to other fans. I remember in the San Antonio Comic-Con, there was Sons of Anarchy was the show that was out. Sons of Anarchy was supposed to be there, and they had about 20 fans, 30 fans maybe. And it was in this huge room. Our room was standing room only, talking about Doctor Who. That's how many nerds were in San Antonio loving this show. And so what they did was they kicked the Sons of Anarchy fans out and moved us into this large room. I'll never forget. I'll show you a picture if this is playing after and I find it. But they moved us into this huge room because we bought real fans in there. We were talking about a show that was beloved at the time, and NASA scientists was in there with other nerds, and we were just really having a good time talking about the reality of the show and what could and what couldn't happen. And it was so much fun. And then that led to me going to the San Diego Comic-Con. Picture that. So now I'm taking pictures at San Antonio Comic-Con, writing articles. All this is paid for. I'm just going and being a super nerd. But I'll tell you, my enthusiasm and ambition was not a match for my preparedness. I was not prepared for the San Diego Comic-Con. I didn't know anything about the movements, how busy it was, how the timing worked, how if you weren't at a certain place at a certain time, if you didn't do what you needed to do to edit, you couldn't get things back to the company in enough time, and how fast they really wanted to post to keep up with all the other outlets. And if you were behind it, oh my gosh, no matter how much I wanted to be great and really take advantage of that opportunity, I wasn't prepared for it. Now, personality-wise, logistic-wise, putting things together on the background, I was great. Yo, I can talk, I can write, I can interview, I can panel, but the timing, the equipment, I didn't have what I needed to be ready for the San Diego Comic-Con, and I had no idea until I got there. Let me tell you why I use that story. I'll tell you, my timing was unique to my journey. I learned so much at the San Diego Comic-Con that I was the last con that I did, because I realized that I needed to grow in some areas to go back and really be successful and not look like a straight rookie. As excited as I was, I realized that the timing just wasn't right. So I told the company, hey, let me get some more smaller conventions under my belt. Because I love all of this. I love the cosplay. I love being a part of the teams that put this stuff together. Of course, the community that bands together. We were even doing like old classic Doctor Who watches. There was a whole community that was getting together and watching classic shows that I had never seen before because, of course, I'm new to the fandom. So the version of the show that I'm watching was completely different than what they've watched growing up as kids. I came in as an adult loving the show. So I was getting a firm appreciation that I didn't have. Like, there were so many things. I was trying to rush it because everything sounded so cool, but I had to take an honest look at myself and the situation and the opportunity in front of me and realize that I'm not ready. It's not the right time. I'm walking through a door that I don't have the equipment, the tools, or the mind for yet. I need to build up on this. So I'll tell you, man, it was some really cool opportunities. It was a really cool experience, but I also learned that I'm comparing myself to other reporters, other panelists, other folks who've been doing this for years. I got in that press room at the San Diego Con with all these real, true podcasters and people who've been doing this for years and people who this was their bag. Like, I was like, whoa, what is that? How do you... Hey, where did you buy that from? What kind of camera is that? Oh, wow, who's that? And there's some real names in the business. And if I told you who I was working for, you'd be like, whoa, how did you get that job? It's because my passion was there. My enthusiasm, my ambition was there. But I wasn't ready for what was required and the responsibility at the time. I wanted it so bad. But I'll tell you, man, I realize now looking back that I jumped on opportunities that I wasn't ready for without really knowing. Of course, I never turned down opportunities, but I did learn a lot. And I was very humble. And I had to respect that I wasn't ready for the responsibility I was given. I took a step back. Because sometimes you want things so bad that we're not paying attention to the cost. And I tell people, when you're comparing yourself to others and what they have and what they go through, I guarantee you there's people right now that may have a certain look, wear certain clothes, have a certain car, that are struggling in other areas because they wanted to look a certain way, have a certain thing that you don't need in your life. And I know I wasn't the only person at the San Diego Comic-Con that didn't have all the fancy equipment, that didn't have all their times and understand all. We had shows that I had to go interview for that I had never watched. So I'm literally what do you call that? Going in just asking basic questions during these panel interviews. I hadn't seen The Expanse yet, and I had a chance to talk to the entire cast. I hadn't caught up on Supergirl, and Tyler Hoechlin was about to be the new Superman in this series. This is before the new Superman and Lois. I had never seen Tyler Hoechlin's history on Teen Wolf, so I didn't know who he was before this moment. It was so much that went into it. I was like, wow, I'm not ready. But I'll tell you, when you're understanding of you, you have that level of self-awareness of yourself, you understand that growth takes time. And progress does not always show up right away. It's not an instant thing. It's not magical. It doesn't just happen. You have to take the steps. You have to do the work, and that's what I needed to do. Before I can really get into the con scene and jump back into it after that experience, I had orders. I had a new assignment. I was leaving Texas, finally going overseas. And it cost. Like, I wish I could tell you the time that I gave up to be around family to go do these conventions. That was something that I wasn't even looking at before I took that step back. And I missed those days, those hours before I end up going overseas on a deployment for 365. I missed time. So that step back was needed, man. I needed to take a step back and realize what I was missing based on the decisions I was making. Even though my heart and mind and ambition were going in one direction, the reality was in a different direction. I needed to take a step back, and I need to realize I need to give myself grace. I need to realize that I wasn't ready. I need to realize that I need to take smaller steps. I'm taking leaps and bounds way ahead than what I'm actually really ready for. And I share that story with you just to kind of prove this point. No matter where you are, man, you are not behind. You are on a path that requires patience, not speed. Speed can get you in trouble. Growth takes time, and progress does not always show up right away. Your timing is unique to your journey and is working for you, not against you. So keep moving forward, even if the steps are small, and trust that what you're building will last because you are not rushing the foundation. That story I told you was all about rushing the foundation. So what I'm asking you is to understand that trust that what you are building will last if you take the time, take the steps, get the knowledge, get the tools, get the understanding, get the full understanding. People joke, but that's why the podcast is being relaunched, because when I tested the first time, put my toes in, I realized, whoa, I'm not ready for that responsibility that I promised everybody. It looked easy when others do it, but when I really took a step back and looked at my journey, wait a minute. Let me take my toes out that water for a second. Let me stop rushing this foundation and get what I need, get the team that I need, the equipment that I need, the time and space that I need, the schedule that I need. Let me understand what goes into this before I jump in head first like I did last time. Woo, I do that sometimes, and it's okay. It's okay. But I guarantee you it's better to crawl before you walk, because sometimes you don't know where your legs are, what they feel like, what is supposed to happen, what it's supposed to look like. And then you get there and the product isn't what you wanted. And remember, your name is on it. So you take pride in these things, like my team did with the Norwegian Foot March. They took pride. They took time. They made sure the foundation was solid. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes at Winsome. We'll be back after this break with more. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes with Winsome. We are back for the last segment. I'm really excited to be here with you. It's a beautiful day, so I'm even more excited to get out there to see how beautiful it is here in Okinawa on this Saturday. The December transition is always my favorite, right? We're going from November to December. This is when the weather cools down from the Okinawa humidity in summer. This is when that wind breeze starts. This is when the water is cooler. This is when it's just amazing to be here. I love this season. A lot of people like the winters, or not winters, the summers and then the fall. I love this. Yes, fall. I love the fall season because it is perfect weather to me. I don't like it too hot. I don't like it too cold. I like it right now. No rain happening, just the sun coming out. It's not too hot. You're not getting cooked, right? So this is the best time for me, my favorite time to be in Okinawa. So I can't wait to go run out there. And I know I say I love getting outside every time I'm here, but no, this time of year is when I love being outside. This is when I got to order the sweats. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Got to order my Under Armour sweats so I can get out there and sport them in about a month, right? Because it's just too chilly. You can't just be out there with my shorts and T-shirts on. This is when it's that season. But I say all that because even though you guys, if you know me, if you work with me, especially lately, if you work with me, you know I've been in the zone. I've been focused. I've been on one. I've been really paying attention to my next chapter because it's coming so fast. If you work with me, you know that about me. If you've one of my friends in the community, you know that I'm moving. That I always got something I'm building. That there's always something on my mind. But at the end of the day, my goal is always to maintain character. And when I say character, I don't mean what I've created as a character. I mean to be the person that I know I am for the people that need me. I am in the area and space in my life right now that I know that people look up to me. I know that I look up to others, and I know that I have a responsibility of care. And so I wanted to make sure that you guys are tracking. I know there's been mornings that you wake up and something happens to you and emotionally hijacks you for the rest of the day. One of the things I want you to think and keep in mind is whatever you do, do not get stuck on the one thing that ruins your day. And why don't you want to get stuck on that one thing is because life is too short to waste on negativity. I have a friend that some things that bother everybody else in the room when he's teaching doesn't bother him. I love this about him because we're all catching certain things and he's just moving. He's so focused on the goal, the vision, and the outcome that he's not paying attention to that person in the audience as being a jerk, trying to challenge him all the time, or someone making noise, or someone who keeps going up for the bathroom. He's focused on the people who are there, paying attention, watching, listening, growing, learning. And I love that about him because he doesn't let someone else's negativity in the room bring him down. And I've had some rough mornings. Think about your worst morning. Think about this for a minute. One of mine involved a phone call I got early in that morning, a text message that followed it, raining outside, catching a flat tire on the way to work. All of this happened in one morning. What was your worst morning? Now, the question is, did you allow that morning to affect the rest of your day? Or did you get past everything you needed to do and just move on? Because one of those is a common reaction and the other one takes a lot of work, self-management on you. So I'll tell you how I handled that morning. Like, that was a rough morning. I kept telling myself, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. And then you gotta try to, I know one of my friends likes to use this compartmentalize situations. Like, I can't get stuck on this phone call. I can't get stuck on this text message. I can't keep going back and looking at the phone. I got to focus on what's in front of me. I got to get my mind ready for work, or I got to get my mind ready on this class. I got to get my mind ready or whatever it is, these students, because you can't get stuck on if it's a negative situation. Oh, wow, I got a flat tire on the way to work. It's in the middle of the rain. I'm in uniform. It was a horrible, so yeah, it sucked in the moment. But then I was grateful that as I'm outside pulling the tools out of my trunk and changing this tire, that a young man that was running, who also got caught in the rain while he's running and still enduring it. I love that mindset of the runner too. Like, just because it's raining doesn't mean I'm turning around. I chose to run, so I'm going to finish my run. But I'm going to tell you, I needed him that morning because he said, hey, let me help you. So instead of getting stuck on the situation, now I'm so grateful when I'm stuck in a gratitude moment because I have someone here who is helping me change his tire so we can both get out of the rain. He didn't have to stop. And then I get to work, and instead of being stuck on the phone call, the text message, and a flat tire, I'm stuck on gratitude and the fact that I made it to work. And the fact that the folks at work were already moving, that it wasn't like I was walking into a situation where I felt behind. I changed my mindset, and I didn't allow myself to get emotionally hijacked based on everything that happened that morning. And a lot of people think that's a superhuman thing. No, it's a choice. One bad moment does not get to define the rest of your day. You see, I chose, and I want to make sure you understand that I chose to pay attention to what brought me peace in those moments. Hey, that happened. I can't control it. But I'm not here by myself. God sent somebody my way to help me change this tire in the middle of the rain. I made it to work on a donut. Is that what they call the little tire? The donut tire. I called over to the tire place, and they said, yeah, we can replace it. It wasn't as expensive as I thought it was. I can go at lunchtime. So I didn't allow that moment to define the rest of my day. And I chose to pay attention to what was bringing me peace in those moments. And so I also think about, especially when the folks who I know have positive energy, I lean on them in those moments. Think about this, because some people lean on people who add on to it and just layer it. Like, girl, I can't believe that happened. Man, that's horrible. That sucks. No, I need that person. Oh, man. But at least you made it, man. Who's that person for you? Oh, man, that sucks. But, hey, that is dope that somebody stopped for you. Who's that person for you? Hey, Winsome, I'm sorry to hear that, man. But, hey, you're here. You made it. We got you. Who's that person that you, when you had a horrible moment, that you can just pick up the phone or send a text to and say, hey, man, I just need you to tell me something positive. Give me some good news. Right? If you don't have that person in your world, you need to find them, because they need to be a part of your orbit. Choose to pay attention to the things that bring you peace and joy. So I know that person is one of my sources for joy. So I reach out, and I have multiple, not just one that I rely on. One of the things that people don't understand is when you let go of those things that are bringing you down, right? Think about this for a second. When you're able to let go of those things that are bringing you down, you're able to rise higher. Mentally, physically, emotionally. You're able to rise when you let go of those things that are holding you down. I call it, when people come into my office for a session, it's taking the weight out of their backpack. Hey, leave one of them 5-pounders over here. Leave that 10-pound weight over here. So when you walk out of my office, it's not as heavy as when you walked in. You're not by yourself. You're not alone. See, when you let go of what weighs you down, you rise higher. And that's what I encourage people to do. Let it go. Do not allow one bad moment to define the rest of your day. And that's every single day. There's people who hold on to stuff from Monday, and it's making them miserable till Friday, till Sunday, until they start a new week. Some people just don't know how to let go. You see, the sad part about that is protecting your happiness is not selfish, it's essential. So when you learn to let things go, focus on things that bring you joy and peace, to let that weight have those outputs to where you can put that weight so you're not carrying that heavy backpack throughout your entire week. What you're doing is you're not only allowing yourself to rise mentally, physically, emotionally, taking that stress off you, leaving that weight somewhere, but you're able to move forward. And we've been talking about taking those little steps, and it's hard to take steps forward when you have so much weight pulling you back. So when you're able to go ahead and find those people, places, and things that bring you joy, that bring you peace, when you're not allowing those things to hold your thought processing back or you back, you're living the best version of you. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes. You are loved, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. See you next week.